If you've never been through a remodel before, the process can feel quite overwhelming before it even starts. There are a lot of moving parts, a lot of decisions, and if you don't know what to expect, it's easy to feel like you're behind before you've even begun. So here's exactly how we walk you through it, from first call all the way to the day we hand the project back to you. It starts with a conversation. You reach out and we talk through what you're thinking, what space, what scope, what goals. From that conversation, we can generally give you a ballpark estimate. This isn't the final number, and it's not a binding quote. It's a starting point, so you can get a general sense of whether this project makes sense with your budget before we spend time on the other side. Some people hear the ballpark and they say, let's keep going. Some need to adjust their scope or their timeline. Either way, it's useful to have a conversation early on. Then, if the ballpark makes sense, we schedule a paid on-site consultation. This is where I come out to the property in person and I walk the space. I take measurements, photos. I can get a real understanding of what the project is going to involve in a way that a phone conversation can't give me. The site visit is where the real planning begins. The information that I gather goes to my subcontractors so that I can get their input as part of building the full estimate. The consultation is paid because it's a significant time investment and because the deliverable is real. You're getting a detailed plan and accurate pricing, not just a rough guess. And should you choose to move forward, that consultation fee is applied to your project. Once I have everything from the site visit, I can now build out the project plans and the full pricing. This is where we get into real numbers: material, labor, timeline, scope in detail. We go through it together. We make sure everything lines up with your goals and your budget. If adjustments need to be made, we make them at this stage, before anything is locked in. And when you're ready to move forward, we sign a residential agreement that outlines exactly what's involved and the cost. Once the agreement is signed, that's when we reach out to the city about permitting. I want to be transparent about why it works this way. I can't begin the permitting conversation on your behalf until we have a confirmed agreement in place. The city requires project details that only exist once the scope is finalized and agreed upon. Factor in a minimum of 2 weeks on permitting for most projects. More complex scopes can take much longer. While permits are processing, we're not sitting still. We're ordering materials, coordinating subcontractor schedules, and getting everything lined up so we're ready to move once the permits are accepted. Then we build. Every project looks a little different at this stage. Some start with the demo, some involve excavation, some go straight into framing and rough-ins. The sequence depends on the scope and the space. What stays consistent is how we manage it. We coordinate the trades, we keep the sequencing tight, we communicate with you when something changes, and we move the project forward phase by phase until we reach substantial completion. This is the longest part of the process and where communication matters the most. We stay in touch through the entire thing so you always know where things stand. And when the work is done, we do a full walkthrough together. We go through everything room by room. We make sure every detail is right, and we address anything that needs attention. And then we hand the project back over to you. But we don't just disappear after the handover. We follow up at 30 days to make sure everything is performing as it should, that all the finishes are still holding up, that all the systems are working, and ultimately that you're happy with the outcome. And then we check back in 1 year, because a remodel is a significant investment, and we want to make sure that it holds up long after the last tool leaves the job site. And that follow-up matters to us because our reputation in Cache Valley is built on projects that stand the test of time, not just ones that look good on handover day. And that's the full process, from your first call to 1 year out. Every project has its own details and timeline, but that framework is how we run every project we take on. So if you're thinking about a remodel here in Cache Valley and you want to know what that process looks like for your specific project, go ahead and reach out. We'll walk you through it from the start.